Hello everyone and welcome back to the Engineer's Guide. Last time we've finished the print and repair shop, so it's completely functioning, usable, and I want to use this as a building platform. As you know, I have recently lost my Constructor, so I want a new one and I want an improved one. The plan is to get a Deconstructor here and take it as a basis. So I will deconstruct the Deconstructor part by part and build up the new one onto the print and repair mechanism. So I basically should only have to place the blocks and then run a repair cycle, and the system should build the ship for me. I hope. That's the plan, at least. I think it will work. So so I want a new Constructor, and since I'm going to use the Deconstructor as a basis and deconstruct that one, I should also make a new and improved Deconstructor. And I think that will be enough to do for today. So let's get the Deconstructor over there and let's start. I do have a couple of issues with this design. One, that is that I had some trouble with the timer blocks turning on and off half of the thrusters and half of the gyroscopes. And well, the ship is a little bit too high. It's very difficult to go through these side gates. And I was thinking to making it 1 or 2 blocks less tall. So that will take some design choices, and I may have to wait for that because I see a hive ship, and that's a really terrible start again. So I will leave this here, turn off all the thrusters. As you see, I do have issues with these thrusters. And gyroscopes, like that. Okay, well, the system is still deactivated. This is really the worst start ever. Oh, that's not a good sound. I do want to check what that was. Hive ship is 2 kilometers away, and I should be gone soon enough. I'm not sure what that clanging sound was, and I am a little bit worried. Let's inspect the ship. It is really laggy when it's not docked to an asteroid. Okay, I still have the Deconstructor over there. This is as it should be. And this is as it should be. Another thing that's possible that causes these sounds are the elevators, and I hope there's nothing wrong with the elevators. for this system. Well, alright. Let's just get this ship docked, so well, it won't lag as it does right now. And we're there. Okay. I didn't see any resources yet. That's probably nickel. Yeah, nickel. Alright. And 858. I will try to remove as much of the timer blocks as possible because, well, actually I do not want them. I want the easy automation also on my small ships, and I think that will be really handy with one of the problems, and that is with half shutting down and starting up half the thrusters and half the gyroscopes. The other thing, and that was to reduce the height of the ship. I think it is possible. Although the thrusters and the batteries will be almost right on the floor when the ship is docked. That shouldn't be too big of a problem. I do want to have enough components in stock. So let's find a projector and project the old, this one. The old Constructor. There you can see that I do not have enough construction components and power cells. And the option for the assembler was on the second hotbar, option 3. So if everything's correct, yeah, the assemblers are right now producing the entire ship, not just the missing parts, but everything, so that I will have enough components. And for color scheme, I want to use retro future armor. I want a dark gray for the functional components, and I am going to use the blue as I did for the autominer. Also retro future armor for the armor. I'm not sure what's below here. Batteries. So that means that right behind the connector there's a junction, a conveyor junction, and from that point all the containers are connected up to this point, where with conveyors the welders, or in this case the grinders, are connected. It's a real compact design. So a conveyor junction. The next big thing are the thrusters and those will be quite interesting. The one pointing upwards and downwards, I want them one more inside the ship. So right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks outwards. And I want them one higher, so I need to place a temporary block. So let's make that a different color. Okay, this is the basis. Now what's next is I do want to add some gyroscopes already. And let's see how much I've got on board. I've got 8. And this is the interesting part, because I need to take into account which block will be printed first. And because if I let me see, let's get the gyroscopes. The merge block will be printed first, and then the projector and the connector, because that's one block further. And then the printer will continue with 3 steps before this junction can be printed, because otherwise the catwalk will be in the way. And if I place the gyroscopes here, it might be possible that they can't reach the gyroscopes when they are at this end of the block, but this end should be fine. The containers will be placed directly against the junctions, both junctions. So I have this top part. And I think that should do. So there is a oxygen tank, and I want to use that, but that means that this entire setup is going to be placed a bit forward. And well, that might be a good idea to make the ship a little bit longer. Oh, a hacker drone. I shouldn't be worrying about that. So this ship will be a little bit longer. It won't fit in a 4 block space anymore. Oh, this was a really compact design. Well, this is the start of the entire system. I'm really interesting to see how this is all how this is going to work. So let's start. Okay, I am in repair mode, and well, no, I don't lock the connector. Let's just start. So activate repair. Let's see how this goes. Okay, that's the first thing that was really going wrong. When I put a ship in repair mode, I should disable the dampeners. Okay. But for the rest, that was going quite well. Yeah, the repair system kinda works. But as I said, these ships... yeah, well, there was almost an explosion. And it's really important that the dampeners are deactivated of the blueprints and of the ships when they are connected to the system. So, yeah. I am wondering, can I automate that thing exactly? I bet that I can use the easy automation to do that exactly. With the normal mode, I can just turn it on and off, just a switch. But with easy automation, I can exactly say to turn it on and to turn it off. Ooh, that would be handy. But first I have to deal with a strike drone. Yeah, I've chosen to make two LCDs. One debug LCD, which is by default needed by the easy automation script. And I've made an additional LCD. I know it's not really necessary, but well, I'd like to use the LCDs to put in the program that is called upon using the easy automation script. Next bit. I think I'm ready to start placing the cargo containers. I do need an extension forward because the cockpit is placed more forward. And there's something nice over here. With the placement of these two frames here, I have some space for batteries right here and right here. So right now I've got enough batteries, I've got the welders, my conveyor infrastructure is complete, I've got the cargo containers. The only thing I need right now is a couple of thrusters sideways, like so, and on the bottom as well. And then I've got all my thrusters. Let's do a little check if I got all the components. So I've got the antenna, batteries, cameras, cargo containers, cockpit, connectors, gyroscopes, thrusters. Well, I've got the welders instead of the grinders. The landing gear or the magnetic plates, I need to do that. LCDs will come later, lighting will come later. I've got the programmable blocks, I've got the projector, the remote control, the sensors. Yeah, this, I don't need these sorters. This will be fine. The only thing that might happen is that I might need to add these so that I won't get any components in the cockpit. More light. And the timer blocks. I don't know if I need any timer blocks. I do not think so. I should be able to make use of the easy automation script for all features. Yeah, I can use the easy automation tool for all these functions. So I don't need any timer blocks. Well, that's really nice. And let's fix this thing real quick. Have one problem, and that is that I don't have a camera around here somewhere, and I was hoping that the camera was not as big as the magnetic plate, but it is a little bit taller. So I actually cannot dock with a camera. I can make a double camera next to it. Alright, that problem is solved as well. So what's left is the rear, and I'm going to place the magnetic plates not directly next to the connector, because the large grid horsefly drone. The large grid connectors are 5 small grid blocks wide, so I need to place it on this line. And next to that I will place the LCDs like I have done over here. But first, let's get rid of this drone. I do need to find a good location for the magnetic plates, and I wanted it one away from the connector, but I think that might not be as easy as I thought, unless, well, let's first place these around. I've got an idea. Okay, this is what I ended up with. I have the beam blocks like so in a slope with magnetic plates on the back. I've wrapped the blue armor around quite tightly, and it fits perfectly onto the beam blocks over here. Some spotlights in between, here on the sides as well. Some spotlights in between some blue armor. So I've got the rear, I've got the sides, I've got the top and the bottom, so the thing that's left is the front. And I do hope that this will be printed, because the LCD will be printed quite late in the process. That is something to worry about. These curved conveyors, they don't have any attachment points. These do, but these are already 3 blocks away, so that might be an issue. There is a critique drone, by the way, commenting on, well, a lot of stuff, but I am actually really happy with this design so far. Well, so far, it's almost done. So yeah, I have spotted where I wanted to have the lights on the top. I'll place them in the similar position as down below, so on this edge here. And I have thought of something else, and that is this bit. I am worried that it won't be printing correctly, so I will remove this and I will place, come on, where is it? There it is. I will place 2 separate ones, if I have the parts for it. This way I know for sure that the blocks will be printed, because this block will be printed when the battery is printed, so the welders do have a reach of 2 blocks. The light will be printed when the battery is printed, and on the 3rd row the LCD will be printed, which provides the attachment points for this half slope light armor block thingy, and on the bottom as well. And these will continuously provide attachment points for the other parts, so they're not dependent on the LCD that will be in there. So let's get some parts. And this should be working fine. And what I wanted to do was to have this one provided with a texture, and that's this one, like so. And then this one should have the name of the vessel. I fill this top part in with some beam blocks and some plates, and I think it looks perfect. It actually looks really decent, and I think that the ship is done. So I have achieved what I wanted to do. It's 2 blocks smaller in height. It is a little bit longer, but I do not mind really that much. It actually has everything it needs to function. Really happy with this design. Right now I'm going to rename all the blocks. I'm going to write some code for the easy automation on board of this ship. I don't think it will be too complicated. Not as complicated as that thing over there. And set up the lights, the LCDs, that kind of thing. And see if I can get it functioning again, because, well, I do, I'd like to have a Constructor back again. So let's get to it. There is a hunter drone over there. The only thing is, it seems to be stationary. Okay, I don't think this is how it should be. And I don't think that I should worry. Let's get a turret. It is pointed directly at me, but it seems to be firing at something. Okay, it was firing at something. And I think it just glitched out or something. I don't know. I'll leave it for now. If it is here in, I think, 15 or 20 minutes, I'll just delete it. Something happened. I was busy still renaming. And then I heard a sound and saw these pieces floating around. Alright. I think I got lucky right here. Oh, that's a big chunk. I'm not sure what it was, but it was going fast. I think it was something like a salvage drone or a... what is it? Drill drone or mining drone. Something that doesn't have any guns. Otherwise, I think I should have heard some shots. At least shots landing. The setup of the ship is complete. As you can see, I have used 2 of the LCDs in the cockpit to function as a legend for the functionalities in the hotbars, in the 2 hotbars that I am using. I intentionally left the numbers 2, 3 and 4 open, and as I am talking right now, I see I forgot one thing, and I can do that immediately. I want to be able to toggle on and off the projector, and let's mention that right here. Projector on, off. As I mentioned, I've left options 2 and 3 open because when I want to use the auto docking, I want to be able to use it quickly and not that something bad happens when I accidentally press number 2, for example. So this will be fine. There are a couple of buttons that overlap. That are the options 7, 8 and 9. And I think that will be alright. That way on the hotbar 2 you have the more maintenance functions. Turning the batteries to recharge and to auto mode. Projector on and off. And the second power group, which I implemented in this ship as well. So I have the option to turn on and off half of the thrusters. Let's disconnect for a second. Number 6 on the first hotbar. As you can see, all the thrusters are on right now. And turning on and off the second power group, that's option number 7. So if I press 7, then half the thrusters are off. and also half the gyroscopes are off. And another thing, I have named the ship. This is the ISS Genesis, or the Constructor Mark II. I also have a name in mind for the new Deconstructor, but that will come in a second. Or a minute. For the rest, this is completely set up. I do want to set up the remote control as well with the basic functionalities to at least fly the ship back to its docking. So it needs the cameras, it doesn't need the welders, and it needs the auto docking, that kind of thing, and of course turn the system on and off. I am extremely happy with this ship. I think it looks very, very beautiful, but most important, it's extremely functional because, and this is the big test. Oh, let's turn the other thrusters back on. Going to this port, the side entrance. It fits much, much better. Room
meteor storm inbound
all around, and it can easily fly inside. So for that's the biggest victory. And again, oh, the camera is doing strange things. Well, and I think the design has improved as well compared to the old design. Well, that one is a little bit busted. The increased length, yeah, that's it's a big improvement. It doesn't look as stubby as that one, and it's much sleeker. And again, I have the plates, which you can see here, for some detail. The beam blocks add a lot of detail. Well, I'm just really, really, really happy. So yeah, I'm going to set up the remote control. And then I am going to blueprint this one. I'm going to print it. Change it to the Deconstructor. And then set that up and blueprint that one, because I didn't blueprint that Deconstructor, which was not the best move. And then I've got two brand new ships helping me build this giant, monstrous, complex ship that I'm building for quite a while now. So yeah, let's continue. And the remote control is set up and works perfectly. I have access to the cameras. Option 5 is return to the dock with auto docking, and 7, 8 and 9 are the same as the 7, 8 and 9 of the options within the ship itself. So 7 is turning on and off the second power group, 8 is the startup of the ship, and 9 is the shutdown. And I want to show you a couple of other things. First of all, I use the Constructor LCD Easy Automation for the scripts. So that's this bit, and this bit can be removed right now. So I've got the welders on off. The welders off, that's for the safety function. When the sensor detects a person, well, it shuts down. Dampening on and off is for the sensor on the back, so that when the ship connects, the dampeners are turned off. and when it disconnects, the dampeners are turned on again. I've got a system start, which only turns on the power group 1 thrusters and gyroscopes. So you start with half the power. It turns on the light, the spotlights, and the LCD textures. And that's interesting to see because let's get next to the ship. The LCD textures are the ones with the with this logo on them. When the ship is off, these LCDs turns off. These LCDs turn off and mention that it is offline. So then the ship is offline. So that's a nice feature. Furthermore, the shutdown shuts down both power groups for the thrusters and the gyroscopes. It turns off the lights, the LCD texture, so it says offline, but it also triggers the welders off and the lock. So hopefully when I shut down a ship, or this ship and the Deconstructor later on, it will not only lock to the ship with a connector, but also with the mag locks, which are mentioned here. And when I jump and the connector gets damaged, then they're still attached. Hopefully. Well, I think probably. So that I don't lose these ships again. Although I now have a printer and I will make a blueprint of this. So I think I'm in better shape than I was, but still, I don't want to lose the ship again. Second power group function is quite simple. It's just a switch, an on-off switch of the power group 2 thrusters and gyroscopes. The lock and unlock is straightforward, and the battery recharge and automate are straightforward. And this is where the naming is important, because now it says Constructor, because for each of the blocks I use the prefix Constructor. And changing this to the Deconstructor script or program is really easy, because I copy this into Notepad++. I just change all the prefixes and copy it back in the other ship, and then it should work immediately. I only have to reprogram all the options in the hotbars and in the sensors. But I found an additional help for that, because not in the custom data but in the text itself, I've typed the entire setup of, well, the sensors and the hotbars. So it's really easy to do it again, or to fix something if it doesn't work anymore, or when the ship is damaged and something needs to be fixed. So everything's in here. So I think that will help me quite a bit. And something else that I did, but you already saw, is that I made the text yellow, a little bit like the yellow from the sign, and I think I got quite close to it. Text on the back is also yellow. Yellow and blue work quite okay together. And well, the rest is all dark gray, so it's a 3-color ship. I don't have all the parts, so that's the first thing. Let's put the assemblers to work. Alright, I've got the necessary parts. It's still producing some, but oh well. And this is the most important part. I set up the sensor to turn off the dampeners when it is connected. And it is set up in a way that it should work and be triggered while printing before any of the thrusters or gyroscopes are printed. Maybe the rear thrusters, but well, let's just hope that it works as it should. Okay, fingers crossed. And activate printer. Okay, that's not working completely as it should. The remote control. Dampeners are still on. And there's another issue. These bits aren't printed. So that means that this setup isn't completely as it should be. And I know what I need to change. The attachment points aren't attached to the merge block, and it is actually necessary to be printed. That's a shame, but I can fix that without messing with the design so much. So let's do that. Another thing that I want to do is recalibrate the setup, the printer setup, and mostly the pistons. Yeah, that's what I thought. The printer is a little bit too high. What I need to do for that is check this one, vertical printer 1, make it 9.8 I think. Yeah, this will do perfectly. And I need to set the remote control to dampeners off when this first line is printed. I think if I do that, then all my problems should be solved. This looks like it's all going perfectly. Let's double check the dampeners. Mode control. This one. Dampeners are off. Okay. There it is. fully printed. That means this design works completely. And the dampeners are still off. So okay, that bit doesn't work as it should, but for the rest, well, it almost works. I am missing one feature, the view camera rear, and that is because that hasn't been printed. That's a shame. There's actually no reason why this hasn't been printed. Huh, that's strange. I think the performance of my PC has something to do with that, because that it printed before and now it didn't, so that's a bit strange. Okay, what I can do is load the projector. With the ship, Genesis, and then set up the repair, one repair run, and that should work perfectly. And actually I can immediately exchange the welders for grinders, so that's a double win. And that bug is also still in the system. I need to find a way that, well, it doesn't do what it does now. This one is fixed. Let's put it down for a second and lock, because I saw a drone coming by over there. It's a fighter drone, meaning missiles. Okay, and defeated. This one needs to be reprogrammed, which is quite easy, because I just have to rename all the blocks, and by renaming I mean changing the first letter to these three, setting up all the hotbars, and changing the scripts and the text from the LCDs. So I'll be back in a sec. I am really happy with the end result of today. I've got two beautiful ships. I've got my Constructor back. I've got a new Deconstructor, which functions, well, perfectly right now. Turning on and off the second power group works, so that's quite the improvement. And overall, well, I had some issues with the print and repair shop, but I will figure that one out later. What I forgot to mention, well, you know the Constructor, the ISS Genesis. The Deconstructor is the ISS Ravager, which is basically exactly the same ship, with exemption of these grinders in the front instead of the welders. All in all, I had a blast building these ships. Really happy with the end result. It fits through the side gate in the print and repair shop, which is a plus. The grinder functions completely. I don't have issues with turning on and off the thrusters and gyroscopes, which is a plus. And I think they just look much more beautiful than they did. I have blueprints of both of them. I have blueprints of them having their own blueprints activated in the projector, so repairing these ships will be much easier. Also with easy automation activated, repairing is much easier because the script works with the newly repaired blocks immediately, instead of having to add them back into the groups or in timer blocks. So that's a big plus. Well, this was it for today. Quite a big episode again, but well, with a big result. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like and I will see you next time.